beautiful 62-degree night in the Windy City. We welcome you to the United Center, downtown Chicago. Game one of our special Tuesday night doubleheader of the NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. It is the Boston Celtics facing the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls battling Toronto for the 8th and final playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. Raptors winning at Detroit last night. So with 2 games remaining, the Bulls are a half game in front of Toronto, while the Celtics at 50 and 30 still have a long shot chance to finish as the 3rd seed, but they have to win their final 2 games. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert, along with Reggie Miller. There's the Czar. Mike Fratello will be joined in a moment by Craig Sager working the sideline. Both clubs ready to go. Let's check out the Taco Bell starting lineup for the Celtics. Back to their starting 5 after Kevin Garnett sat out against Milwaukee Saturday night. Garnett, Paul Pierce, Kendrick Perkins up front, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo at the guards for the Bulls, who have won 8 of the last 12 games. Luol Deng, the rookie Taj Gibson, Joakim Noah on the front line of the backcourt, Kurt Heinrich and Derrick Rose. And if we can line backcourt of Kurt Heinrich and Derrick Rose. The officiating crew, Scott Foster, Eli Rowe, and John Doble. The Bulls 39 and 41. And they have turned things following that 10-game losing streak. We're hearing it from the crowd right from the start as Derrick Rose controls the tip. Heinrich played by Allen. Noah spinning his way, draws the double, pops it out to Deng, and he's off the mark. Rebounded by Perkins. And what is going on with the Celtics? 50 and 30, as I mentioned, but they have lost 5 of their last 8, and 4 of those losses taking place at home.
Well, if you listen to the captain, Paul Pierce, he feels these last 2 games are very critical for their team as Rondo gets one to go off the glass. Get these last 2 to go and get some help from Cleveland to move up to that 3rd spot to get a rhythm. But listening to Doc Rivers, he said health is the #1 importance going into the playoffs, electing to limit KG's minutes in these last 2 ball games. Even if they finish 4th, he feels in the 2nd round, you're going to have to play Cleveland eventually. He feels if they are fortunate to move on to that 2nd round at that #4 spot, his team would be fresher in facing the Cavaliers in the 2nd round.
Fouls on Ray Allen. Mike Sunday night, Bulls win at Toronto. Joakim Noah, who's come back from plantar fasciitis in his left foot, had that sensational game. 18 points, 19 rebounds, 7 assists as Noah goes to the rim and is hacked. So he'll head to the line.
Well, in essence, Noah's been the spiritual leader, the energizer for this team. His minutes have been monitored since he returned from the foot problems. Last game, he was able to play over 38 minutes. However, tonight, I don't think there's going to be a limit on his minutes against the Celtics.
And there was some confusion about his minutes 2 games back. A bad loss by the Bulls. They lost in double overtime at New Jersey. Seemingly had the game put away in the overtime. They led by 7 with 1:09 left in that first overtime. And there was the thought that perhaps Noah should have been on the floor, and there was miscommunication because there were those limits put on his minutes, and Vinny Del Negro was not sure as to what to do. He felt that Noah had played about as much as he should because he's coming back from the injury as Garnett is able to knock it down.
Look, Vinny Del Negro is put in a very difficult spot. The talk shows, the newspapers, they're still talking about, isn't winning the important thing? Shouldn't you have just made your mind up to play in those minutes? When you get a directive from your boss and you're told the medical people or trainers feel you should not play in more than 35 minutes, then you do what you're told. Otherwise, you put your job in jeopardy.
Foul is called on Pierce, as you see the head coach of the Bulls, Vinny Del Negro, who is a former teammate of Celtic head coach Doc Rivers. They played together with the San Antonio Spurs. Kurt Heinrich, only 2 of 9 the other night against Toronto, but has picked up his shooting as of late.
Well, Coach, that's easier said than done when you get, you know, the call from upstairs that he can only play certain minutes. If you're trying to get into the playoffs, sometimes your basketball expertise has to supersede whatever anyone upstairs. They're not in the front lines like a head coach is, and he's got to understand that he's trying to win a ball game, and he's told he can only play Noah 33, 35 minutes, and he's at that limit, and there's only a few minutes left in the ball game, and I'm trying to win it and make the playoffs. I've got to go with my gut and put him in there. I don't care what upstairs is saying.
But that's not the issue. That wasn't
the issue.
No, it's not. Not for Vinny. He was given an order. If there's an injury involved here, Reg, that's a totally different thing. If medical people say he can't play more than this many minutes, if you play him those minutes because you think it's the right thing to do as a coach and his career's over, that's your problem.
But if that player, which we got confirmation from Vinny, Noah's telling them, put me in, put me in, put me in, I'm going to put him in.
He's not a doctor.
All right, here's Allen for three. But to that point, every player will say, put me in, and actually might not be from a medical point of view.
But I think Noah knows his body. And if his body's telling him he could stretch it out another 1 minute to 3 minutes to 4 minutes, then you've got to trust that player. You're going to trust him when he's healthy, when he has 4 or 5 fouls, and you should take him out and says, hey, leave me out of here. I'm not going to pick up a foul. You trust him then. Why can't you trust him when he has an injury?
Wait a moment. Defensive three is called. Would you trust a player who says, leave me in?
Yes, I would. If I've been in the trenches, which Vinny Del Negro has been in the trenches in a tough 7-game series last year against these same, as you see the minutes as they've been built up since his return from injury. Yeah, I am going to trust Joakim because I understand, and I've seen him every day in practice. I guarantee General Manager Gar Forman or Vice President Paxson have not been at every single practice. They have not been at every single game. Vinny Del Negro has. So I've got to trust my player.
Well, Marv, you know, this happened before. If we go back many, many years ago now. Remember Michael Jordan had broken his foot, and they, meaning the front office, said they don't want him to play in the playoffs as Paul Pierce hits that in-between jumper, and Michael said, no, I'm playing, and he played.
Different situation.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And it was early in his career, and he, as I recall, he felt he wanted to make sure that he knew he could still play rather than sit it out over the summer months. As Heinrich rims out, foul is called.
And last thing I remember, wasn't that one of the most unbelievable playoff series ever? Chicago Bulls versus the Boston Celtics. What was it, 63 points in Boston?
Yeah, Michael did a few dances in that series.
I thought his foot was okay.
Now, see, that's not right. Don't make Michael, okay, the measuring stick, okay, for why.
You brought it up. Didn't you bring it up?
You guys are very feisty. We've got, what, 3.5 minutes?
Playoffs are around the corner, Marvelous. We're just getting into playoff form.
Todd Gibson on the foul to second, so Brad Miller has checked in, coming on for Gibson. Here's Garnett putting moves on Noah. Trying to bank it. Rebound Garnett goes right up with it. And it's handled by Dang. But back to the point of trusting a player who has 3 or 4 fouls. And Heinrich for 3, yes. There are certain guys you might trust.
Correct.
But you can't trust everyone. I would have trusted you.
Yes, I agree on that. But I'm sure Vinny Del Negro knows his players.
Here's Pierce for 3. Rebounded by Noah. And Noah, prior to that injury, was leading the NBA in rebounding at one stretch earlier this season. In fact, the Bulls are the top rebounding team in the league because of Noah. And that is deflected, and a foul is called. And Pierce argues the call with the official John Goble. Pierce picks up a quick 2 here in the early going.
Yeah, it looked like that foul was down low at the body, holding Noah down low as he tried to get that offensive rebound. 2 quick fouls for Paul Pierce, sending him to the bench. Just look at Noah's body down low. A little push down low from the hip area. Picks up the second foul.
Nice pass, Noah going right at Perkins. Marquise Daniels has come on for the Celtics. Tony Allen out with the flu. He would normally have been the first substitution. Allen not able to hit for 3. Rebounded by Perkins. He's played by Miller. Pops it out to Allen. Allen lost Heinrich on a screen. Shot clock to 6. Daniels. Every Celtic touched the ball on that possession.
Yeah, pretty good ball movement by the Celtics. Move the ball side to side, passing to one another.
And if the early going here is any indication, as you see Derrick Rose hitting a little floater, you had better be a man going up on the glass tonight, because these bodies are jumping. They're jumping high, and there's a lot of contact under the rim.
For both these teams, It is the next to last game of the season as the rejection by Rose stopping Rondo.
See a nice move here by teardrop by Derrick Rose. And Doc Rivers was saying it's those big muscle guards that give Rondo the trouble. Chauncey Billups, Derrick Rose, Darren Williams. Rondo's done a good job of figuring out the small little quick guards, but it's the power guards that's been giving him problems.
One on the shot clock, and Garnett came up short, rebounded by Heinrich. Luol Deng. Kept alive by Rose. Rose with the rebound of the bucket. The Bulls lead by 1. Halfway through this first quarter, 7 unanswered points for Chicago. And the call is away from the ball, and it's on the Bulls as Vinny Del Negro takes a timeout.
Rested Magic Johnson and James Worthy in Portland. The Lakers lost 130-88. And the commissioner, David Stern, fined the Lakers $25,000. I called the league office today and asked if there's a different philosophy nowadays, and I received this statement from Commissioner Stern. He said it's something we are watching closely, and we will address and study at the Board of Governors meeting this week in New York. Mark?
Well, Craig, the Czar actually asked to take off the last 2 broadcasts of the regular season so he would be ready for the playoffs, and the commissioner actually thought that would be an excellent idea. All right, here's Heinrich for 3. Celtics started out hitting 4 their first 5, 0 for 8 since then. Reggie, as you look back, did you take off prior to the playoffs with the Indiana Pacers?
Well, early on in the career, as Noah's doing his best Magic Johnson impersonation, trying to go coast to coast.
And here's Perkins trying to chase it. Oh, he got to it as Rose overran. And the Celtics able to set up. Allen, nice move.
Yeah, early on in my career as Allen with a nice land. When the Pacers were struggling to make the playoffs, we were, sometimes 6th, 7th, or 8th seed. I played every game because rhythm was much more important. As our team's gotten better and you get the number 1, 2, or 3 seed, Rose shows the nice lefty lane right there. As our team's gotten better, rest was a little bit more important, especially the older I got. So I could see where both sides, what these coaches are doing with their superstars, rest versus rhythm.
Marquise Daniels, who came out for Paul Pierce. Pierce going to the bench after picking up the 2 early fouls. Here's Perkins, rebounded by Noah.
Don't you think another part of it, Marv, is the fact that so many key guys have been injured for teams that coaches are looking around like, Brandon Roy just goes down out for Portland. All of a sudden, he may be done for the playoffs.
It's been an unusual finish. Chris Bosh is out. We heard about Kobe Bryant as Miller fires for 3, and it's swept by Perkins. Once again, the long lead. Miller getting back. Garnett, and he is fouled, hit by Miller. And now Glenn Big Baby Davis and Rasheed Wallace check in for the Celtics. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA continues tomorrow on ESPN. The Grizzlies and the Thunder, followed by the Suns and the Jazz. Coverage starting 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All those games have meaning. Saturday on ABC, NBA playoffs tip-off coverage starting 2:30 Eastern Time. The NBA playoffs continue Sunday with games right here on TNT, and then next week NBA TV will broadcast live playoff games.
And you could throw Andrew Bogut into that mix too. Milwaukee was playing fantastic until he took that tough fall a couple weeks ago, and his season is done. But if your team has done the work throughout the course of the year to earn that number 1 seed, I'm not going to fault Phil Jackson or Mike Brown for sitting their superstars. They put the work and time in, and I think they've earned that right to sit their star players. Don't be mad because they're sitting and that might affect your chances of seeding. They did their work early.
Celtics up by a point. Just under 4 to go here in the first. Heinrich. And the foul on Wallace making contact with Noah. And the Celtics are over the foul limit.
Joakim Noah is just being so aggressive on the offensive glass. Already picking up early fouls on Rasheed Wallace. Picked up Paul Pierce's 2nd foul just from his positioning and being aggressive on the offensive glass.
Now in the race for the 8th and final playoff spot, with Toronto winning last night, in Detroit. The Bulls have a half-game lead if Toronto wins its final game tomorrow night at home against the Knicks, and the Bulls lose either tonight or tomorrow in the game at Charlotte. Chicago and Toronto finished with the same record at 40-42, but the Raptors make the playoffs by virtue of the tiebreaker. They won the season series 2-1 over the Bulls. Chicago would make it by winning their final two tonight and tomorrow at Charlotte, or winning one of the two, plus a Toronto loss to the Knicks. Offensive foul is the call. It is on Davis. And Kevin Garnett just headed to the Boston locker room just a moment ago.
Yeah, it looked like he got hit in the eye or the nose area. And again, you know, you talk about the injuries and what Doc Rivers was. You would like a healthy squad going into the playoffs. You got one of your star players, defensive player of the year, going to the locker room.
Well, it's been an injury-hit season again for Garnett. Was given the night off as Rose misfires and Daniels lost the handle. Garnett did not play Saturday night. Celtics winning at Milwaukee. Doc Rivers felt that Garnett looked tired in his previous game. Just 3 of 12 in the loss to the Wizards as the Celtics were blown out at home by Washington and heard the boos from the crowd in Boston. Just 2 on the shot clock as Heinrich looks to inbound. Here's Rose with a catch and shoot. The tip missed by Miller. I don't know why the shot clock buzzer went off. They got it off on time. Good job by Miller on a second effort. Rose, oh, nice catch by Pete Myers, the assistant coach for the Bulls.
Pete came up ready to shoot, too, and he got it.
Pete thought it was a catch and shoot. Timeout, just under 3 to play. Here, great first round series in playoff history. Celtics won it in 7 over the Bulls. A series that featured 4 overtime games, a 51-point performance by Ray Allen, and a pair of triple-doubles by Rajon Rondo. And the Bulls, with a strong finish to their season, were able to wind up at the number 7 slot. They went 17-11 the final months to make the playoffs, finishing 41-41 as Rajon Rondo shows the outside touch. And the Celtics now lead at 16-13.
And going back to that series more, that's why I think Vinny Del Negro has done such an unbelievable job this year with this Bulls team, because Gordon was off the charts in the playoffs. They had picked up John Salmons to be the replacement for Gordon in case he left through free agency. So not only did Vinny Del Negro lose Gordon, who was, like I said, just sensational in the playoff series, then they get rid of Salmons in the middle of this season. So you've got those 2 big scorers, not even with this team, and they're still right there with a chance for the playoffs.
Marquise Daniels on the foul to put Luol Deng at the line. Luol back from that sprained right calf, one of the many injuries that you made mention of with the Chicago Bulls, aside from the loss of some key players. Hakeem Warwick, as you saw, checking in, had not been getting the minutes as of late, but had a strong game up in Toronto the other night. 3 of 6, 10 points. Bulls have missed 4 straight at the foul line.
And when teams go smaller against Chicago, he has a chance to play more minutes. It's tough when he plays against bigger, more physical guys. Wallace a little bigger than Warwick down low right now.
She tried to take advantage. Handled by Heinrich.
I mean, that's the one player for the Celtics. As Warwick gets one to come in and out, that's going to have to play well. Rasheed Wallace. And we asked Doc Rivers that he's going to have to show up come playoff time.
All right, here's Rose. Yes, and the foul. A very active start for Derrick Rose. The foul on Daniels. That is his second.
Why are some players just so gifted? They get to the rim and they can finish. They get the roll. It goes in rather than roll out. Other guys just don't get those rolls. Not quite the same athlete, not quite the same talent as Derrick Rose.
Flip Murray coming on for the Bulls, replacing Luol Deng. And the Bulls continue to have their problems at the foul line. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Kevin Garnett still in the Boston locker room being attended to by athletic trainer Eddie Lassert. He does have a cut over his eye. Even though he is playing limited minutes tonight, he is expected to be back.
Nice pass. Davis came up short, and he was hit from behind by Miller. We talked about the Chicago playoff situation. Boston coming into tonight a game and a half behind Atlanta. So the Celtics would have to win their final 2 games tonight here in Chicago, then tomorrow night back home against Milwaukee. Atlanta would have to lose tomorrow at home against Cleveland for Boston to end up in the number 3 slot. So the magic number for Atlanta to clinch 3rd seed is 1. A Celtic loss tonight would do it, or an Atlanta win tomorrow. This is Davis at the line. Celtics up by 3. In the West, there are all kinds of scenarios where teams can jump many spots within 24 hours. This is Parker who just checked in. By Noah.
There's the energy on the glass for Chicago.
Well, you got to understand, Boston, one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, and you got one of the better offensive rebounding teams led by Noah and his aggressiveness on the offensive glass.
Final minute, first quarter. Nice look from Rondo, finding Daniels. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, the Czar, Mike Fratello, Craig Sager. We are at the United Center in Chicago. Better than 20,000. The usual sellout crowd on hand. Murray way off, and it's handled by Wallace. Daniels, an aggressive move by Marquise Daniels. Nate Robinson has checked in for the Celtics. Nice move by Rose on a hesitation. Murray played by Robinson. Down to 7 on the 24. Murray lost it, and it's deflected out. Last touch by Boston. So Chicago 4 on the shot clock. 13 seconds to go in this first quarter. Rose on a reverse. Final seconds of the first. Rondo throws it across in casual style and then fires for 3.
The first quarter, Boston 20,
After 1,
17.
The Celtics with a 20 just outside of the city. We talked to him about the old Chicago Stadium and asked did he ever get in to see Bulls games. He said, well, in those days you can kind of sneak your way in for the second half. Second quarter underway, and Daniels is fouled. And he said, well, he loved that particular Chicago team. It was Bob Love and Chet Walker and Tom Bowinkle. Very strong backcourt, Jerry Sloan and Norm Van Leer. Doc in his 6th season as the head coach of the Celtics 2 years ago, of course, guided them to 66 wins and the NBA championship. A programming reminder this June, TBS presents a very funny festival. 5 nights, 12 venues, over 100 comedians. For more information, go to TBS Just for Laughs, Chicago.com. No starters on the floor for the Celtics. In fact, Marquise Daniels and Nate Robinson, who have been out of the rotation, are getting some early playing time.
Yeah, and the reason being because Tony Allen is out tonight. Doc Rivers gaining more and more confidence in Tony Allen. Feels Tony Allen's become probably the best defender on this Celtic team. He'll put them on 1-2s or 3s defensively. So with Allen out, both of these guys, as you mentioned, Mark, Daniels and Robinson are getting minutes.
3-guard set for Vinny Del Negro. Heinrich with Pargo and Murray. The big men, Warwick and Noah, as Pargo is able to knock it down.
I don't know if Finley's going to have enough foot quickness to stay with Pargo.
Kevin Garnett back from the locker room, and you can see repairs have been made.
His
over the left side.
cut man worked on him in the corner.
Wallace able to bank it home.
It's funny listening to Doc Rivers saying Rasheed Wallace is right now primarily exclusively a 5-man for them. Coming here, they were assuming that he could play both power forward position and center position, but because of the weight that he's had on all year, he's pretty much had to play center. It's hard to play him and Perkins at the same time on the floor.
Yeah, he said it just doesn't work with Perkins and Wallace on the floor at the same time. Here's Davis, just able to get it over Noah. Michael Finley, recent addition to the Boston roster, is out there for the first time tonight. Pargo from deep in the corner, rebounded by Daniels.
2 bad plays by Pargo. He gets a turnover the last time down, then he rushes a quick shot that time. Finley in transition misses the long pull-up jump shot. Pargo, a little more patience.
I know some of the Celtic players welcome Michael Finley. They feel that he could bring the same type of personality that P.J. Brown did a couple of years ago when Boston won the championship, although they're entirely different players, but both terrific in the locker room.
Well, a guy that brings championship experience coming over from the San Antonio Spurs, and plus he stretches the floor with that shooting. Now, he's not going to defensively play like James Posey or P.J. Brown, but in the locker room and in some crucial moments of the time, I believe Doc Rivers can trust him.
Quick shot by Murray. A lot of quick shots being offered up here by the Bulls.
It's 4 straight possessions. A turnover, then a bad shot by Pargo. Warwick out of his range takes a jump shot, and then you see the quick one there by Murray. 4 possessions. The Bulls don't give themselves a real good opportunity to score.
Here's Daniels on a post-up against Murray and gets the roll. Celtics up by 8. We are early second quarter, and the Bulls will talk things over. This is the biggest lead of the night for either club. Boston 27, Chicago 19. Back to the United Center after this. So Kevin Garnett going back to the locker room. There's something that cut above the eye, and he's back on the bench. At this point, Garnett with 8 minutes to play. This after sitting out Saturday night of the game against the Bucks. Heinrich, yes. Celtics now lead at 27-21. For Boston, it's been kind of a choppy season. They started at 6-0. They then went 3-4. That was back in mid-November. They reeled off 8 straight wins. They actually were 23-5 at one point, but then injuries had a major effect. Injuries to Garnett, and Pierce, and Davis, and Allen. Recently, they have struggled. Since they were 23-5, they're only 27-25. And have certainly had their problems as of late, which is not the way you want to go into the playoffs. Although, as Doc Rivers has been saying all season long, he's been telling his guys you cannot put the switch on whenever you want it.
Well, it's definitely not a light switch, but as Dane gets his shot blocked by Wallace, it's not a light switch. But if you're Doc Rivers and you're managing minutes, as Michael Finley misses on a 3-point try, it's hard to monitor minutes of your superstars when come playoff time Saturday or Sunday as Rose gets his first jump shot to fall tonight. If you're managing minutes, how are you going to turn it on come playoff time and tell KG to play 35, 40 minutes when your stars predominantly get most of the minutes come playoff time?
But if you remember now, there never was a feeling early in the season that KG's knee was totally healthy. Everybody kept saying he doesn't have full strength back yet. So I think that was a concern to Doc. So also, steal by Derrick Rose.
And Rose, oh, the reverse window. Rose with a sensational finish.
I know his knees look healthy. Kevin Garnett's knees might not be healthy, but that young fella's knees look good.
Robinson right back. Crowd is buzzing about that Derrick Rose. Oh, that Rose called for the travel. Derrick Rose, 2 games back, had a rough one with the 7 turnovers against the Nets in the double overtime loss, and then bounced back in Toronto, and off to a good first half here.
Oh, you see the nice steal right here, and it just beats everyone else down the floor for the nice little scoop reverse dunk. That alone would make Scottie Pippen, who's in attendance, pretty proud. That was one of Scottie Pippen's favorite moves in the open court, that nice little reverse dunk.
That's Hall of Famer Scottie Pippen.
Excuse me, you're right. I do have to refer to him as that now.
received a rousing ovation as he was introduced to the crowd just a couple moments ago. Dang gives it up. Taj Gibson. There's Scotty. Brings back a host of good memories for Chicago Bulls fans.
Not for me, it doesn't.
That's a palm. Wait a second. You can step away and be objective here now, Reg?
Headaches.
It still hurts, huh?
33 and 23. Headaches. Nothing but headaches for me.
6.5 left, first half. Bulls down by 2. Heinrich. And he's fouled, hit by Rasheed Wallace.
You know, that's that weak side defense Doc says has been non-existent for his team all season, especially after that 22 and 23 and 5 start. Their defense has really slipped for 2/3 into the season, and it's really guys rotating over early. And right there, Wallace rotating over late, gets the foul on Heinrich.
Mentioned yesterday that he spent basically the entire practice. He called it our weak side defense practice yesterday. That's all we worked on, with rotations and people loading up on the ball side of the floor rather than let people get to the front of the rim.
Doc also saying we are very weak, getting beat off the dribble constantly. It's a team that was among the top in the NBA in terms of defense. They still are very solid, but they've dropped down a bit. They're now number 5. They give up about 95 points a game, which is still pretty good, but recently it's been a different story. Paul Pierce has checked back in, as has Rajon Rondo. Here's Perkins. Physical move by Perkins, and called for steps. Traveling violation on Perkins.
And what Kendrick Perkins is telling official Scott Foster is, you got to give me that body foul that Noah had down in the first quarter. He's bodying me down low. You got to call that. That's what caused the travel, was the body contact.
Since Heinrich and Rose checked back in, the Bulls have outscored the Celtics by the count of 10-2. Dang, he's been off, rebounded by Perkins.
They keep trying to put Deng in a situation where he can take the ball, drive, and slash into the open lane. That's why they start out with that dribble weave early on.
Wallace tried to take advantage of Gibson and had a chance on the foul. Thought he was fouled, but that was a clean block. And now the foul is called on the Celtics.
Timeout on the floor.
Timeout taken with 5:37 left in this first half. Rondo on that foul. The game is tied at 29. In Boston, Danny Ainge, teammate of Vinny Del Negro. They were both in Sacramento. And then hooked up for a couple of seasons with Doc Rivers with the San Antonio Spurs, helping the Spurs reach the 1995 Western Conference Finals. Vinny with the good touch from outside. We're talking about those San Antonio days with Vinny Del Negro, and he said there was quite a group. They had Avery Johnson on the team, Doc, Chuck Person, David Robinson, but several guys who have gotten into coaching. Chuck Person now an assistant with the Lakers. Heinrich had the touch. 11 points for Heinrich, 12 for Rose. So the Bulls backcourt with a 23-10 advantage over the Celtic starting backcourt. Paul Pierce gets it over to Kevin Garnett. Back on the floor. Here's Rondo with a runner way off. But a foul called. It is on the Bulls. So Doc Rivers has gone back to his starting 5. Heinrich picked up the foul. Second team foul on Chicago.
Rondo's next evolution as being an elite point guard in this league is establishing that 12 to 15-foot jump shot. On that swing pass there by Kevin Garnett, he did a teardrop runner from about 15 feet. He's got to be able to set his feet and just go up for a jump shot.
The time Rondo stopped by Rose. Rose lost the dribble, able to recover. We were talking earlier what a tough matchup it is when Rondo goes up against the more powerful point guards, and Rose is in that category. Here's Dang adjusting, rebounded by Garnett.
You think about Chicago coming back from 8 points down, and that's with Luol Deng having 0 points.
Allen not able to hit from 3. Rose is on it. Here's the pitch out, Heinrich, and that will count. It's a goaltend on Allen.
That's nice vision there by Derrick Rose. As soon as he got the basketball, one dribble, looks ahead and finds Kurt Heinrich on that left wing. One pass. Nice finish there by Heinrich.
A 14-2 run by the Bulls. They have their biggest lead, the 4-point margin, coming up on 4 minutes to play in this first half. Garnett with a fake on Noah. Heinrich with the rebound.
See how much rhythm plays.
And Heinrich with the reverse.
He slowed up. He looked to say, I can't believe none of these Celtics are watching me drive it to the rim, and then just split the green jerseys to lay it in with his left hand.
Heinrich has scored the last 8 points for the Bulls. Allen with the runner. Noah on the rebound. And Noah brings it across. Crowd enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's an advantage when your center can get the rebound or the block shot and come up with it and take a few dribbles out. Want to improve your fast break.
Shot clock down to 3. Rose looking for the screen, couldn't find it, but is able to drill it. A standout first half for Derrick Rose. He's hit 7 of 11. He has 14 points. 18-2 run for the Bulls, who are hearing it from this crowd. The Bulls only 3 of 18. And Heinrich and Rose combining for 7 for 7 in the second quarter. Coming up on 3 minutes to play in the first half. Paul Pierce had trouble staying on the floor with those early fouls, only his second field goal.
See if Paul Pierce could try to find a rhythm here in the closing minutes of this second quarter.
Heinrich tried to go between the legs of Allen. That did not work. Pierce met by Dang. Dang cut off on the pick. Pierce. And again, it's Noah on the rebound.
It's Noah's 8th rebound here in the first half. Going along with 4 points.
A lot of dribbling by Heinrich as he backs it up. Shot clock to 7. Noah with that most unusual looking shot. Here's the lead for Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Nice look from Rondo.
Part of the problem when your guards are along the sideline, more towards the baseline, and your big men start shooting jump shots, their defensive man runs out, and there's no one to cover the backcourt. The guards must rotate back when they see that.
Dang for 3. Luol Deng had missed his first 5 attempts. He's 1 of 6 from the field, but that 3-pointer gives Chicago a 7-point edge. Garnett working on the rookie Gibson. Garnett, yes.
Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, 8 points, 4 rebounds. And apparently a problem with the clock, 24-second clock, not working. So the officials over to the scorer's table across the way to straighten things out. And we'll take a break. Let's go to Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios. Ernie.
What's wrong with Ernie?
Oh, I enjoy that.
He's getting into playoff form as well. Oh.
See, he's usually much kinder to Reggie, but he's kind of just lumps you in. Because he does not like the Czar personally. Heinrich had it knocked away. Hit by Allen. Noah gets it down. A beautiful pass. as Gibson put it home.
Paul Pierce never got in front of the weak side duck-in man. He wound up on his back. That's not what you're supposed to do. You have to cut him off in front so they can't throw that interior pass.
Here is Pierce. Oh, what an adjustment that was by Paul Pierce. And it is a fast finish to the second quarter for Pierce, but the Bulls have a 42-37 lead. This is the fourth and final meeting between these two clubs of the regular season. Rose is fouled, hit by Rondo. Celtics have won 2 of the first 3. Both were blowouts, including a December game here in Chicago. The lone Bulls win taking place in Boston back in mid-January. So 2 shots coming up for Derrick Rose. Bulls suffering at the line. At one stretch, they missed 5 in a row. They're now 4 of 9 at the line. See the NBA Live season tickets for 2010, 2011 are on sale now. Go to NBA.com/tickets to reserve your seats. The NBA, where amazing happens. Playoffs just around the corner. Will get underway Saturday and Sunday. TNT starting its coverage Sunday evening.
And the Celtics are going to recapture that magic from a couple seasons ago. They're going to have a full complement of players playing at a high level. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, but more importantly, the one guy is Rondo.
Perkins on the rebound of the miss by Pierce. It counts in the foul. Perkins able to squeeze it through. And Noah did not like the call. Now technical foul call, and it's on Perkins.
And that's his 16th, which he'll probably not play in tomorrow's game. When you get 16 technical fouls, automatically suspended.
But you know, Reg, you and I have been watching, and during the timeouts, okay, there's been a lot of talk. Perkins, Rasheed Wallace, back and forth with the officials. That time, Eli Rowe. You watch on the inside there, Pierce. Now, finally, as Perkins grabs it, a little elbow to clear some space. He makes the basket, gets fouled, and right there, he's got something to say to the official on the baseline, Eli Rowe. He's been saying it for the last quarter, basically. They wanted calls. That's his first points of the evening for Perkins. So frustrated, he picks up the technical.
And when you hit 16, it means automatic suspension of 1 game, which would be tomorrow night. They will review it, though. Sometimes technical fouls are rescinded. Rasheed Wallace has 14 technicals coming into tonight. Half-minute left in the first half.
30 technicals from your center position for one team.
Perkins got a piece of it. Celtics can hold for 1 shot to end the half. Coming up on 10 seconds to play, first half. Pierce watched by Gibson, down to 5. Pierce, yes. Paul Pierce with a strong finish. Heinrich from center court, waved off. But go look at it. It was waved off on the court by the officiating crew. Scott Foster said no, but they will review it.
It looked like the ball was still in his hand as the red lights. You see the backboard right there. The ball definitely still in Kurt Heinrich's hand. Good horse shot, though.
Yeah. And I would see the edge on the boards by Chicago, the #1 rebounding team in the NBA.
I would say here in the second half, Vinny Del Negro would like to see a little more productivity from that bench. Just 2 points in the first half, and that was from Pargo.
Nice move by Garnett, and he is fouled by Gibson. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Marv, at halftime, the studio talked about an incident apparently between Bulls president John Paxson and coach Vinny Del Negro over the minutes of playing time for Joakim Noah. In that report, it's alleged that John Paxson supposedly pushed Vinny Del Negro and then challenged him to a fight. I asked Vinny Del Negro if the incident happened. He would only say that, yes, there was an argument and a disagreement over the minutes, but that was all he would say. He would said I would have no comment further about whether there was a pushing incident or what happened. As for Paxton's side of the story, I was told it's an organizational matter and will be handled internally. The report was first heard from Tribune writer Casey Johnson. He held the story back for several weeks out of respect to Vinny Del Negro. I asked him why he held it back. He said, when somebody's future is in my hands and I can affect it, out of respect for Vinny Del Negro, I did not report it. However, it will be in the local papers tomorrow, and depending on what the Bulls do in the last run here for the playoffs, it could be a really big story, Mark.
Thank you, Craig. Nice move by Paul Pierce on the drive, so the game is tied at 44.
Well, two things. That explains a lot about the controversy that went on in New Jersey with the minutes to Noah. Because if there's already been an altercation, allegedly, in a shoving match as Dane gets a layup to go, now I understand why he was gung-shy about putting him back in or playing him in those 2 overtimes. But secondly, if you held the story back to protect him, why is it coming out now? There's no need. If you had this story, you know, a week ago, 10 days ago, 2 weeks, whatever, and the story was buried, I don't understand why you bring it out now then if you had control of it.
Reggie, I agree with you 100%. You've held it for this amount of time. You bring it out on maybe the most crucial night of the season for this franchise and for Vinny Del Negro. So you hold it for 2 more days. What's the big deal? Then bring it up at the end if it's the truth.
And on the rebound, Gibson looking for the opening, and it's handled by Rondo. Well, from a journalistic point of view, perhaps he shared it with someone as Pierce is able to score on the drive, and Paul Pierce has really come on. And the writer may have thought, well, yes, I would like to help Vinny Del Negro, but journalistically, that's not correct. And perhaps someone, you know, talked him into.
How do you talk any sports writer or any writer, for that fact, into writing a story that's either going to be pro or against, you know, whoever the subject target is? If you had the story 2 or 3 weeks ago, then you write it if you had this information. Don't say, I sat on the story because I respected Vinny Del Negro, and then on one of the bigger nights for the Bulls, a chance for them to continue at that 8th spot, it comes out.
These things happen all the time. Guys hold stories and then they change their mind. You know that.
Well, let me just say this from the coaching standpoint. How many times have you had a fight in practice as Gibson misses that open jumper, but Rose with the offensive rebound can't get it to fall? How many times have practices, Reggie, broken out in practice where after you're done, Paul Pierce with the transition opportunity, and a coach says, happens all the time in practice. We have fights in practice because it's competitive. Therefore,
well,
you move on. You move past it.
This is a little more unusual.
Yeah.
We're a coach and a general manager.
I've had plenty.
If that's the case.
I had plenty of fights with Donnie Walsh all the time in practice. It never came out.
How about earlier tonight? You shoved Saar up against the wall. I mean, I thought that was just awful. Meanwhile, Paul Pierce with 12 of Boston's last 15 points. Nice save there by Allen. Allen forcing, and Rose got a piece of it. Celtics have taken a 4-point lead. Dang lost the dribble. Recovered by Heinrich. Nice pass, and Gibson puts it down. Boston is up by 2.
Good effort that time by Dang. He got his team a basket just by getting to the floor, saving it, tipping it to his teammate, which eventually led to the assist and basket.
All right, for more on the shoving story, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Mark, we should try and clarify that the Tribune writer Casey Johnson, who had the information and was withholding the story, would continue to withhold it to the end of the year. However, it was somebody from Yahoo Sports, Adrian Wojnarowski, who found out about it, found a leak from either a player or a player's agent or somebody, but he heard about the story. He put it on the internet this afternoon, and when I talked to Casey Johnson, he said now he will put it in the paper tomorrow because it's already been broken and he has no choice.
So in other words, he's diming the guy from Yahoo. Because the guy from Yahoo was going to get credit for it, he thought, okay, I had this story 2-3 weeks ago. I might as well get partial credit as well, and it's going to be in my paper. If you have the story, write it. Don't worry about if someone else is going to come out of it. Now that guy from Yahoo should be the one that gets all the credit. That's all. Casey Johnson just upset he didn't get the credit.
I didn't realize you went through the journalism school at UCLA.
Yes.
Well, remember, a couple weeks ago, he went to medical school, if you remember that. So he's gone through 2 different schools at UCLA. Medical, now journal school.
And look at Paxson. Does Paxson look like he's going, well, man, yeah, maybe he would. Yeah, maybe he would.
And here's Dang with the shot clock rolling down, rebounded by Perkins. And we'd like to make a correction. That technical foul on Kendrick Perkins was not number 16. It was number 15. Once you hit 16, and the league does review because there have been technical fouls that have been rescinded. That was number 4 on Gibson, incidentally. But at 16, it does mean, after it's reviewed, that it is a 1-game suspension. But that's not the case here with Perkins. Now, Taj Gibson, on the subject of technicals, has been teed up.
Yeah, these players are not very happy with the officiating tonight.
So Ray Allen, one of the league's best at the line, will shoot the technical.
The more I think about it, I'm surprised that story stayed quiet for so long. Something of that magnitude, when something goes down like that between your head coach and your president or vice president, I respect Casey Johnson for holding on to the story, but because someone else got a secondhand story and went with it, doesn't mean you got to jump on the bandwagon.
You know what, you're really lucky? You're lucky, Reggie, that officials can't give announcers technicals. No telling how many you'd have by now.
You think I would have a lot?
Yeah, you might. Really critical of some of these calls.
What are you talking about?
I was wondering when you were going to jump in here.
Oh, you need your buddy to jump in, excuse me.
It's a 14-4 run by the Celtics in this third quarter. And obviously a huge game for the Bulls in terms of their playoff hopes. Noah, they say, hey, take the shot, and he hits it.
Looks very artistic to me, doesn't it?
It's kind of an Anderson Varejao type shot, and they are similar in their style and their productivity. They do cause havoc. Both excellent rebounders. Shot clock down to 7. Here is Pierce. Yes. Cole Pierce has hit his last 7 shots. 10 of 13 overall. 20 points.
Well, finally, Paul Pierce seems interested. I think picking up those 2 quick fouls, and you listen to his comments that these last 2 games mean something. He's starting to show it.
Miller able to go last. Miller on the move. Paul Pierce in the win over the Bucks Saturday night. 10 of 17, 24 points, and looking to regain the rhythm. Well, he has it here tonight after he sat early, picking up a second foul back in the first quarter. Pierce rebounded by Dang. In the race for that 8th and final playoff spot, with Toronto winning last night in Detroit. Nice move by Rose. The Bulls do have a half-game lead. Now Toronto wins its final game tomorrow night at home against the Knicks, and the Bulls lose either tonight or tomorrow in Charlotte. Chicago and Toronto finished with the same record, 40 and 42, but the Raptors make the playoffs because they have the tiebreaker. They won the season series 2 games to 1. Perkins pops it out. Allen open for 3. Ray Allen from downtown. Vinny Del Negro calls for time.
Bulls players, led by All-Star Derrick Rose, recently hosted a special basketball clinic to show youngsters how they can get NBA fit while also having fun. Rose's teammates worked with the group on basketball fundamentals and emphasized the importance of healthy eating and daily exercise. The NBA, where caring happens.
All right, Craig, we have 5 minutes, 9 seconds left in the third quarter, and the Celtics with a 6-point lead as they've turned things here in the third, trailing by as many as 8. Derrick Rose tried to lose Rajon Rondo on a screen. Here's Noah. Nice fake. Yes, and the foul.
Great move that time from the right elbow area by Joakim Noah. He faked the pass to the corner, saw the split in the Celtic defense, took the dribble hard through both of them. 1 dribble is all he needed, and then the finish at the end while getting fouled.
Foul is called on Garnett. Joakim Noah in his 3rd season out of Florida, averaging 10.5 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks a game. Bulls struggling at the foul line, just 6 for 13 at the line. Pierce looking to post up on Dang. And his last touch by Dang. So Boston with 8 on the shot clock. Doc Rivers' team at 50 and 30, 50 wins for the 3rd consecutive year, first time since the Larry Bird era. But it has been a disappointing season for the Celtics. You don't know what you'll get from game to game. And the question certainly will become playoff time. Nice inbounds pass, and Rondo has extended to a 6-point Celtic lead.
Nice cut that time. Ray Allen faked like he was going to come off a 2-screen to the baseline jump shot. Instead, he back cut, faked, and went behind the defender for the layup.
Heinrich for 3. Yes. He has had the touch here this evening. 7 of 12, 18 points, 18 apiece for Heinrich and Rose.
Well, I don't think this has been an easy Celtic team for Doc Rivers to coach this year. I think it's been a very difficult Celtic team. They lost a couple key pieces, brought some new ones in, brought another new one in late on when they did the deal with the Knicks. And this team, just to win 50 games, that's quite a job with all the injuries and stuff they've gone through.
Garnett off the mark, and a foul on Noah, hooking up with Perkins. Well, right from the start of the year, when we saw the Celtics early, Doc Rivers was saying that he's concerned with the tendency that the guys had to pace themselves. We talked about this in the first half. Doc saying it appears we have a switch we can just turn on and off, but we don't have that switch. He also said, you know, when the Celtics won the championship a couple of years back, it felt that every game was a big game. It has not felt like that this season. It's like they're waiting for the final 82. Pierce trying to twist his way in. And, oh, look at that. Davis with his hands around the neck of Derrick Rose, and the officials will huddle up on that one.
Well, the good news for the Celtics, at least he didn't hit the ground. Davis grabbed him, held him, and didn't let him fall down. He just holds him up right there.
What is everyone all booing and upset about? I think that's a great play there by Glenn Davis. He just holds him up, grabs him by the shoulders, and makes sure he doesn't fall down.
Call on Glenn Davis, the second.
I think Doc's...
Oh, they're upset because they're giving him
shots. That's what I think Doc's upset about, that he shouldn't be getting 2 shots.
Well, I understand that because he was going to be in the act of shooting. He never put the basketball back down. So when
the crowd was upset when they saw the hands around the neck of Rose, and we're looking for a flagrant, but 2 shots here for Rose. National coverage of the NBA continues tomorrow on ESPN. It's the Grizzlies and the Thunder, followed by the Suns and the Jazz. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, start time. And Saturday on ABC, the playoffs tip-off. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the NBA playoffs continue Sunday with games right here on TNT. And then next week, NBA TV will also broadcast live postseason action. The Boston lead is 1, 3.5 to play in the 3rd in what has been a very physical game. John Goebel with the call. It is on Heinrich, his second.
Physical play going on between Kurt Heinrich and Ray Allen. Ray Allen trying to come off a couple screens clean. Heinrich got into the body of him and felt that he was pushed to the floor. Official John Goebel said no, the first contact happened before you went down, bodying up to Ray Allen.
5 team fouls on the Bulls. Ray Allen at 92% at the line. He is second in free throw shooting. Steve Nash of the Suns is number 1.
See the contact here down low between these 2 players, and trying to come off a double screen, and that could have gone either way. That could have been an offensive foul on Ray Allen, could have been a double foul, but John Goebel called it as a foul on Kurt Heinrich.
Well, going back to Doc's statement, he mentioned that when the big 3 got put together, Garnett, Pierce, and Allen, they knew that their window of opportunity was very small. Now you go past the championship season a couple years, and they realize that How many more runs are they going to have at this thing before they have to retool this team?
Oh, beautiful pass. Rose able to finish. Bulls have hit their last 6 shots. But come playoff time, despite the age of many of these Celtics, this can be a very dangerous team. I heard the guys talking about it at halftime. Here's Allen for 3. Ray Allen from downtown. And we were watching as Kenny Smith said, well, this Boston club can get to the finals, which Charles did not agree with.
Well, a lot has to happen for this team to get to the finals. First, they all have to stay healthy. Kevin Garnett is going to have to be on the floor more than 28 minutes a night in the playoffs. And Rondo's going to have to make shots.
Heinrich from way downtown.
When I say make shots, outside shots, not lay-in.
Offensive foul.
Timeout, Boston.
As the Celtics call for time. Davis picks up number 3. We'll take a break. Just under 2.5 to play in the third. And Rajon leads the NBA in steals by a considerable margin. Only his 4th season out of Kentucky. Had a breakout playoff performance last year. Was signed to that contract extension earlier this season. Overall averages 14 points and just under 10 assists a game.
But to me, during the playoffs, because teams are going to force him to take outside shots, he's going to have to show people that he can make that outside shot consistently.
Oh, Rondo looking for the steal. Rose way off. Rebounded by Pierce. Allen and Pierce have 26 of the Celtics' last 31 points, and Boston is up by 3. Rasheed Wallace back on the floor. Rondo watched by Rose. Allen played by Heinrich. Sets it up for Davis. Davis blocked. Noah comes away with it. Leads the break. And it's broken up. Rondo getting back to get a piece of it.
The only thing Noah did wrong on that break was he left his feet and got up in the air. And he wasn't in position to make the pass. And once he got up there, he knew he had to throw it. It was going to be a travel. But it started with an excellent defensive play by blocking the shot. Then he busts out with the dribble. We used to see Charles Barkley bust out a lot. And then at the end, when you're up in the air, just there, you've got to do something with it. Shoot it or pass it, or it's a violation.
Are you comparing what Noah does to Charles Barkley now?
I'm just saying Charles used to rebound and block a shot or two and lead the fast break.
Heinrich once again showing the touch, and he has 20 points. A combination of 42 for the backcourt of Heinrich and Rose.
I didn't say Charles had many assists at the end of running the fast break. He may have kept it himself and scored.
And now you're taking a little dig.
No.
Okay, but he didn't pass to his teammates. All right, got it.
Davis getting inside.
3-second violation.
And it's a 3-second violation. Lazar always has a little addendum to give you both points of view.
Oh, he's going out a Hall of Famer.
Sometimes you read into it incorrectly. You're not interpreting what I'm trying to say sometimes correctly.
So Charles just used to get the rebound and then go and finish, whereas Noah is getting the rebound and trying to finish.
No, if someone
trying
was
to look
open.
for his teammates, where Charles was being selfish and not looking for his teammates. That's how I interpreted it. No? Okay. Not bad.
Charles had a chance to find an open teammate. He would do it occasionally.
As I said, he gives both sides to cover himself.
If you listen to the words,
but
occasionally.
It's too late. No, but it's late.
Okay. Wow. Playoffs are around the corner, ladies and gentlemen.
Celtics
shots
by 1 as we come up on a minute
and
left.
Benny the Bull over here messing with us.
Yeah, Benny has just dropped by. And the foul is called. It is on Davis. It's our good friend Benny the Bull. You're all right, Reg?
Yeah, I'm very good. I like Benny.
I'm not sure he likes you.
No, he wasn't good to me during my playing days here. At all.
What did he do to you? Was it personal?
It was very personal.
All right, here's Miller getting inside. And that's too easy from the Celtic point of view.
Think about that. Twice we've seen Miller use that move, and we saw Joakim Noah use it a while ago. That drive from the right elbow, one dribble, and then finish.
Well, I can see Noah possibly beating you off the dribble. But at a center position, if you're getting beat off the dribble by Brad Miller, something's wrong.
Marquise Daniels has just checked back in. Nice move over Pargo. Final minute, third quarter, and Boston up by 1.
I thought Brad Miller looked a little bit quicker to me tonight, going up and down the floor. Oh, one dribble to the rim, scores a layup.
He's taking shots at everyone tonight.
Quickness.
Rose gets it back to Miller. Whoa, he thought he had it. A cutter.
Boston ball.
Did not. The ball back to Boston. Nate Robinson
The Celtics.
checking back in. Michael Finley will come on.
40, Michael Finley.
Doc Rivers going deeper into his rotation tonight. As we mentioned earlier, Tony Allen sitting it out because of the flu. And the Celtics can hold for final shot of this third quarter.
This is all about if you come and leave, you're going to have three-point shooters open somewhere on the floor. That's why Doc put this lineup in. Pierce is the guy who's got to create some type of double team.
Crossover by Pierce. Rondo gets it out. Wallace for 3.
Third quarter.
Well executed, but Wallace not able to hit after 3. The Celtics 68, the Bulls 67. Paul Pierce with 12 of his 20 here in the third, and Ray Allen came on 10 of his 16 in the third quarter.
Defensively, what concerns you most about Boston?
Well, a lot of things. You know, Paul Pierce got to go in there in the third. Ray stretches you, Rasheed stretches you. They have a lot of weapons, and Rondo's always like a one-man fast break. So we have to be very efficient with the ball, but also rebounding, getting out in the open court.
Thanks a lot. Back to you, Mark.
All right, and this fourth quarter gets underway with the Bulls down by 1. And a foul on Rondo. That is his third. Chicago going on that 18-2 run midway through the second quarter, led by as many as 8. Boston is led by as many as 8. And it's a one-point game. Nice backdoor pass, and Dang scores.
The miscommunication there between Rondo and Michael Finley. It easily could have been a switch, but you've got to talk on those back screens.
The Bulls take the one-point lead. Rondo and Daniels now at the guards. Wallace is up front with Finley and Davis. The shot clock at 6. Rose picked off. Rondo rebounded by Noah.
And that's the shot that Reggie was talking about earlier. That's what Rondo's going to face in the playoffs on a regular basis. Teams are going to make him have to make shots.
Rose being chased by 2 Celtics, but able to hit 2 more. He has 24, and the Bulls lead by 3.
Reggie, in fairness, would you say Derrick Rose faced a similar problem in his rookie year and has gotten better and better with his perimeter shot?
Absolutely. When he was drafted out of Memphis, when he got here, that was the one knock on him, that he was quick as lightning, but he couldn't shoot the basketball.
Wallace rebounded by Dang. Early moments, fourth quarter. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, the czar, Mike Fratello. Craig Sager works the sidelines. Miller with the rainbow. This is Finley backing his way. Daniels. Not a good possession for the Celtics.
I think Michael Finley was expecting Rasheed Wallace to take that 3 on that double down kick out.
Open shot for Miller. Oh, look out! Wallace inadvertently put it in his own basket.
So they will give that basket to the closest Chicago Bulls player, but all of them are back at the half-court line already.
So we might get half a point for that then, huh? We were pretty close.
Reggie still looking to add to the career scoring total.
And Rasheed Wallace here as Brad Miller takes the 15-footer.
Whoa. Lost the handle and is embarrassing.
That's not so top 10. I believe that's going to end up in that category.
As they say in soccer, it's an own goal. Who did get credit for that? Apparently, Brad Miller did, yeah.
Because he took the shot. It's not bad. If all of them could be like that.
Bulls now lead at 73-69. While Dang getting set to check back in. To see the Toronto Raptors watching this game and saying, oh no. Raptors and Bulls battling it out for that final playoff spot. Pargo, nice pass, Miller. Miller from Pargo, and the Bulls lead 75-70.
Great passing of the basketball. Only 12 combined turnovers for both teams. They've done a very good job of protecting the basketball.
Pierce guarded by Heinrich. Nice move by Pierce. Beautifully done. Paul Pierce has come up big. 22 points, 11 of 16 from the field.
You know, part of Noah's game that's very underrated has been his passing. Some of these passes he's made on the back cuts to some of these guards, I don't think forwards or shooting guards could make some of these passes. He's an excellent passer for a center.
Miller with the shot clock running down, had to force it up. And it's a shot clock violation. The ball did not hit the rim.
On the floor.
And a timeout taken.
Brad Miller off.
Boston Conference Finals. Yes, it is the Madhouse on Madison. They used to call the old Chicago Stadium the Madhouse on Madison for both the Bulls and the Blackhawks. Rondo, shot was deflected short. Bulls with a 3-point lead. 4 minutes in, fourth quarter. And looking to cut that magic number down to 1 as they approach the final day of the regular season. That being tomorrow. Toronto in action against the Knicks. Heinrich, rebounded by Dang. Toronto winning last night in Detroit. Chicago would make the playoffs by winning their final 2 tonight, and then tomorrow at Charlotte, or winning one of the 2 plus a Toronto loss tomorrow. Here's Miller, too strong, rebounded by Wallace.
If Noah would just roll to the basket on a high pick and roll, it would then open up that perimeter shot by the Miller or the next player over. He's stepping out, Miller's stepping out.
Offensive foul. It's a charge on Ray Allen.
Yeah, Dang doing a good job of sacrificing his body. Ray Allen got up in the air to make that pass. Dang did a good job of sliding over, taking the charge in the chest.
Checking back in for Boston, Kendrick Perkins.
Now Kendrick Perkins makes his return. Mention what is at stake for the Bulls. Not as significant for the Celtics. Because you look at the opening round of the playoffs, Celtics could be facing either Miami, Milwaukee, or Charlotte. Boston is game and a half behind Atlanta, even though the Celtics have won their division. The rules have changed, so the Celtics would have to win their final 2 tonight here in Chicago, and then tomorrow night back home against Milwaukee, and Atlanta would have to count on a foul. How about Derrick Rose with 26 points? And has shown the entire repertoire. Rondo picks up his 4th.
Remember I said early in the game, some players just have a knack for getting that roll, being able to convert at the rim. Derrick Rose is one of those players. He seems to always get the friendly bounce.
As I was saying, Atlanta would have to lose tomorrow at home against Cleveland, along with the Celtics winning their last 2 from Boston to pass by Atlanta. But the magic number for Atlanta to clinch 3rd seed is 1, a Celtic loss or an Atlanta victory would do it. Allen. Foul is called. And it's called the other way. Offensive foul again on Ray Allen as Miller took the hit.
Back-to-back charges for the Bulls. One by Dang and the other by your backup center, Brad Miller. Ray Allen again gets into the lane. Gets up this time to make a lay-in, and Brad Miller slides over, his feet outside the restrictive area, takes the charge for the Bulls.
3 fouls on Allen. Just under 7 minutes to play here in the 4th. Shot clock down to 5. Heinrich with a nice move. Noah kept it alive. Noah foul.
A lot of mistakes on that. If you're Rashid Wash, you can't allow Kurt Heinrich to split the double team on the pick and roll, but you've got to get on the glass. Right there, Noah again. Since the beginning of this game, aggressive, attacking the offensive glass. Gets rewarded for his efforts right there.
So Noah to the line, only 2 of 5 at the line. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, thanks, Marv. It's Derrick Rose with 27 points leading the Bulls, and with me is #1 fan, supermodel Marissa Miller, who actually played against Derrick Rose one-on-one at the Berto Center at their practice facility. What makes him so difficult to guard?
Well, to be fair to him, he was injured when we played, and I think I caught him by surprise because he didn't expect me to do a layup on him, but he's doing so good right now. You can feel the energy here. He's had a great game. He had that slam dunk. He's incredible.
You presented the game ball tonight, and if the Bulls should make the playoffs, you'd be part of the campaign to see red when they begin the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why are you such a Bulls fan?
I love Chicago, and when I came here, the Bulls invited me to see their training camp and everything, and you know, I love them. They're such a historical team, and they have so many championships, and you know, Derrick, he's cute too.
And he was named Chicago's sexiest athlete, Derrick Rose, presented by Marissa Miller. Back to you, Mark.
Craig always on the cutting edge. Now the ball back to the Bulls. They now lead at 79-72 as we hit the halfway mark of this fourth quarter.
I just saw Kevin Garnett get off the bench for the Celtics. Play these last 6 minutes.
Rose able to drill it. 28 points for Rose. Timeout, Boston. All right, let's take a look at the go-to man presented by Dockers.
Well, for Chicago, it's been Derrick Rose with the defense, steal, and then the strong finish at the other end, showing that he's got a little bit of a perimeter game, takes it to the baseline and scores. That little in-between floater gets fouled and goes to the free throw line for the three-point play. Loved by his teammate, Joakim Noah, and then the bounce in that jumper right there hits the 14-footer. Derrick Rose right now leading the way for the Bulls.
The Celtics with just 1 field goal this fourth quarter. They've turned it over 3 times. Bulls have hit 6 of 12. They've outscored Boston 14-4 here in the third, and now lead it by 9. Rondo using the pick. Rondo on the crossover. Miller tipped it home.
Almost returned the favor.
Rasheed Wallace inadvertently put one in his own rim. Rose trying to use the pick and then split through and drew the foul.
Foul called on Rajon Rondo.
Celtics with their 4th team foul. Rondo collects number 5.
4th team foul.
Taj Gibson sitting down, so the Bulls have
Nate Robinson.
Noah, Miller, and Dang on the front line. Rose and Heinrich have played most of the way and have played brilliantly here tonight. Noah lost it. The steal by Nate Robinson. Pierce met by Miller. Nice pass from Pierce. Perkins is fouled. So Perkins will go to the line.
And that's a good foul there by Brad Miller, who's sending one of the worst free throw shooters in the league to the free throw line, and Kendrick Perkins. Don't allow him to gather his feet and go up. Put him on the foul line and make him earn it.
Only a 59% free throw shooter. Very quiet game for Perkins. He does have 11 rebounds, just 1 field goal. Here's a programming reminder. This June, TBS presenting a very funny festival. 5 nights, 12 venues, over 100 comedians. For more information, go to TBSJustForLaughsChicago.com. Kendrick Perkins in his 7th NBA season, missing both free throws, so he's 0 for 3 at at the line as we come up on 5 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Boston now 11 of 17. Both teams have had their troubles at the line. Shot clock to 5. Down to 2. Dang has to hurry. Too late. 24-second violation.
Well, he had to realize there's no time for a pass there. You can look at the shot clock at the other end of the floor before you catch the post up and know how much time is left. He had to go up strong and hope for the foul.
Michael Finley checking back in, coming on for Perkins.
Now Doc Rivers is going to go small with Paul Pierce moving to that power forward position for the Celtics. Smaller lineup, try to create some space off the dribble, drive and kick opportunities.
Try to trap Pierce. Here's Robinson for 3. Nate Robinson from downtown.
And that's what Doc Rivers is hoping for. Let's get them spread out. Let's hit a couple jumpers from the perimeter, get ourselves back in this game, and have a chance down the stretch.
81-75, Chicago. Rose getting the step on Robinson. Hits the runner. 31 points for Rose on 13 of 20 shooting.
What Robinson thought was that there was a high screen behind him, so he jumped to the side of Rose, thinking the defender on the high screen would give him protection. Well, Chicago got the screener out of there. It was just an open path for Rose to drive it and float it up there.
Robinson once again tries the 3, rebounded by Gibson. Nate Robinson, who had a 41-point game for the Knicks back on the 1st of January, coming over to the Celtics, has not been playing very much as of late. Gibson gets inside. Garnett set the pick. Nice return pass for Allen. Beautifully done. Timeout, Chicago.
Yeah, that's a nice give and go from two players that are on the same page right there. Ray Allen.
Thank you, Ernie. So many possibilities. Final 2 nights of the regular season. With Denver and Phoenix both jockeying for position. Kevin and Doug will have it for you following the Bulls and the Celtics. 6-point Chicago lead. Coming up on 3 minutes to play in the fourth. Heinrich for 3. Yes! Kurt Heinrich has 23 points. 9 for 17 from the field. That's his 3rd from downtown.
Every time the Bulls have needed a basket, it's come from their backcourt, either Rose or Heinrich.
And the foul is called as Garnett received that pass down low.
On the wall, Dang, the second.
Called on Dang, his 2nd.
When you watch Heinrich shoot the ball, you think it's going to be short. And I've noticed it 3 or 4 times tonight on made shots. You think that one is too short. It's a line drive, but he just gets it over the front of the rim. He gets a quick look, but enough for him to knock it down.
Next foul on the Bulls puts them over the limit. Good fake by Pierce, and he draws it on Noah. Pierce to the line for the first time tonight. He's an 85% free throw shooter. Programming reminder, MLB on TBS is back Sunday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern Time. It's the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox up at Fenway. Sunday, 1:30 on TBS.
What the Celtics discovered coming out of the timeout is that Pierce and KG Garnett in that pick and roll. Chicago has switched it each time, so they're trying to take advantage of either posting up Kevin Garnett against Dang, or as we see, Pierce a little too quick perhaps to the big man to guard him.
Rose played by Robinson. It's a matchup that Rose likes. Passed on a 3. Shot clock to 3. Heinrich trying to get into position, fires it. Here comes Robinson with Allen. Rose back. And the foul is called on Rose. He thought he had a clean rejection.
Yeah, but if you're Ray Allen, you've got to give that ball up on the break to Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson did a good job of looking ahead right here, but you know Rose is going to commit to the lane. You have a trailer and Nate Robinson, which would have made the play easier. But with Ray Allen getting fouled, the second best free throw shooter in the league, I can live with that.
For Derrick Rose, only his first personal. Allen did miss one moments ago. He's 3 of 4 at the line.
That's about as traditional a 2-on-1 fast break as you're going to see. The only thing that didn't happen at the end is Ray didn't give it back again to Robinson. You just don't find that many 2-on-1s that take place now because so many people pull people off the glass in transition to have the floor balanced.
The Celtics are within 5. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the 4th. Rose backs it up on Robinson. Rose, foul by Robinson.
And he didn't have to. He didn't have to foul on that. Good defense for 18 seconds of that 24-second clock. And here, this is a tough shot for Rose to hit. Hits him on the arm.
No, Reggie, you're exactly right. I mean, you play defense for that long so well. You don't foul the guy. An obvious foul that time. You go up, you challenge the ball. Make Rose have to make some tough shots down here. Don't send him to the line where he's going to make, 8 out of 10.
Both teams are now over the foul limit. Derrick Rose, 76% free throw shooter. 33 points for Rose. 11 have come here in the 4th. His season high, 37. Garnett gets inside and goes high off glass and the foul. Foul committed by Dang, and that puts Garnett at the line.
If Kevin Garnett can have this type of spring come playoff time right here, you see the down low pass from Pierce. And that's the patent turnaround shot that we've been known to see from KG. Shooting over that right shoulder using glass.
Although Doc Rivers is monitoring Kevin Garnett's playing time, it's 26 minutes right now. He's played well, 14 points, 8 rebounds.
And let's credit Doc Rivers. He saw he was down 8 to 10 points. He gambled, went with this small team, and they've got them right here now with a chance to win this thing. Down only 4 with about 1 minute and 45 remaining.
If the Celtics lose, the Hawks clinch the number 3 seed. Here's Rose. Yes! 35 for Rose, who has been spectacular. 90 to 84. Pierce able to find the opening. Uncontested. Eddie Del Negro takes it. Boston showing some signs after the bad start to this 4th quarter. Timeouts remaining. Bulls have 2 20s. Celtics have a full and 2 20s, and both teams are over the foul limit.
How about Doc Rivers electing to keep Nate Robinson, the smaller defender, on Derrick Rose, and not bringing back Rondo, who's a little bit taller and longer arms.
Here's Heinrich for 3. Yes! That's 4 from downtown. A new season high for Heinrich with 26. Celtics want to talk.
And you've got Nate Robinson out here trying to guard Derrick Rose and Kurt Heinrich. Both players can
cut the magic number down to 1 in terms of clinching the 8th and final playoff spot. And if the Celtics lose, the Atlanta Hawks have clinched the 3rd seed. But even at this point, we touched on earlier, no idea who the Celtics will be facing. Either Miami, Milwaukee, or Charlotte. Here we are, next to last day of the regular season, and so much is uncertain in both the East and the West. Here's played by the rookie, Taj Gibson. Got the step and is fouled. Rose came over to help and picks up his 2nd. So that puts Pierce back at the line.
Well, that was the best situation for Doc Rivers and the Celtics right here. It would have been nice to get a 3 to go, but if you could get fouled and get points on the board with the clock being stopped, it was a chance for you to set up your defense.
Here's 2 of 2 at the line, and an excellent free throw shooter.
And obviously, Vinny Del Negro has told his men on the perimeter to stay at home with those guys. He'd rather give up a 2 than have to give up a 3.
Marquise Daniels back from Boston.
And now Marquise Daniels comes on for Ray Allen. This is a defense-offensive shuffle.
Celtics can get a steal here.
Now to a 5-point Bulls lead. Pressure being shown here by the Celtics. They look to trap Heinrich. Noah moves it across. And the Bulls in no rush. They want to use some clock. Just under a minute left in the fourth. Shot clock down to 5. Rose. Heinrich. Yes. Wanted to take the 3, able to elude the defender, hit the 2 for 28 points, and an extension of that Chicago lead to 95-88.
Yeah, this is one of the better.
It's along the way. Rose was struggling because of his ankle injury coming out of training camp. Eventually, Vinny Del Negro decided to put Heinrich and Rose on the floor together, and they've had success.
40 seconds to play. Allen for 3. Kept alive by Garnett. Dropped away. Heinrich is on it. It's just a half minute remaining. Here comes Rose. Oh, he fumbled it. He wanted to finish with a flourish. Nearly blew it. But that's 37 points, equaling his career high. Bulls did not want to foul. 20 seconds to play. And the Bulls lead at 97-90, and the foul is given now by Garnett. That'll send Heinrich to the line. Bulls receiving a standing ovation from the sellout crowd. 20 seconds to go. If the Bulls hang on, they go to 40-41. A huge win for Chicago, as you see Rose able to recover. And the magic number to clinch the 8th and final playoff berth will be down to 1. A win by Chicago tomorrow night at Charlotte, and the season finale, or a loss by the Raptors against the Knicks, will do it for the Bulls. Toronto's still alive, though. They need a win tomorrow and a Chicago loss, and they get in via the tiebreaker. They took the season series over the Bulls 2-1. And the Celtics will finish in the number 4 seed. Atlanta will be number 3. Heinrich with the season high. He has 30. Here's Finley from downtown. Rebounded by Robinson. Allen will pop for 3. Just 9 seconds to play. And a foul on Robinson, sending Rose back to the line with an opportunity for a new career high. A solid performance by the Bulls. Meanwhile, the Celtic struggles continue. This will be 6 losses in their last 9 games.
Well, something we also might want to know. We talked about the brilliance of the backcourt for the Bulls and Rose and Heinrich, but let's not forget Joakim Noah. Only 9 points, but 16 rebounds, and being so aggressive as Rose gets his new career high, 38 points. But it's been that inside presence by Noah's ability to rebound at both ends of the floor has been very disruptive to the Celtics.
Point number 39 for Derrick Rose. An odd box score when you look at what the Bulls have done, with 39 for Rose, 30 for Heinrich, and no one else in double figures. Chicago Bulls have defeated the Boston Celtics 101-93